I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Monique Smith. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing fantastic. I really am. Very blessed.
Hey, well, it's a great pleasure to connect with you. Thanks for taking the time. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Hampton, Virginia.
All right. And which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
I believe it'll probably be podcasting, probably.
Yeah, tell us about your podcast.
Well, my podcast is called A Chat in the Garden, where I interview a female African-American athletic administrator every week. So I'm a 27-year veteran of athletic administration.
Wow, congratulations. Wow.
Thank you. And so when I was an associate commissioner for the CIAA, the area of my job I enjoyed the most was professional development and providing opportunities for women to grow in athletic administration and position them in strategic areas and introduce them to decision makers for the opportunity to lead athletic department. So what I did on the East Coast for the CIAA, I'm just taking it nationally with the podcast platform.
That's amazing. So who introduced you to podcasting?
Well, interesting enough, I had a publicist who asked me to assist her with another client who was trying to win some award about having the longest podcast. And she wanted to know, would I prefer to be a guest or a host? And I said I had control issues and I would prefer to be a host. So when they heard that I had a proficiency in it, I majored in mass communications at Mass Media Arts from Hampton University. And so I learned radio pretty well. That was over 30 some years ago. And so it came back to me naturally.
Wow.
And so, and I worked in media. I was the public relations director at first for the CIAA. And then I became associate within 13 years. My first job out of college was sports information director for a small college in Virginia. So the media part came to me naturally.
Well, you've definitely been around, haven't you? Wow.
Yeah. I'll be 50 in November.
Wow. There we go. Well, tell me, why will you continue to repeat the skill of helping others via mass media, if you would?
Well, I believe that first of all, it becomes a catalog that can be obtained after the live interview. So podcast is a way to educate and elevate women in athletic administration. With my podcast, there is a companion private Facebook group where I can do follow-up with guests and the ideas that are shared. So it becomes a community. And the reason why I call it Chat in the Garden, because that's where you grow. And so we celebrate each other, and that's why I call it Chat in the Garden where significance blooms. And when we have people to say they don't know how or where to go to diversify their pipeline, that's not true, because I'm in my 4th season, and there are plenty of women who are ready for that next opportunity. All you need to do is come to the garden to find where they are.
Love that. Now, direct whoever is listening to the best place to connect with a Chat in the Garden.
Well, Chat in the Garden is www.chatgarden.com. Our private Facebook group is called A Chat in the Garden with Monique AJ Smith. And I can be found on Twitter at a host of chat. Wonderful. And yeah. And so, many folks, when I started, it was like, well, you're not going to have too many women to interview. Because I first started out with all athletic directors that were African-American female athletic administrators. And we went from August to February with athletic directors.
Wow.
So they don't know where they are. And so, and I do, because we all know each other. And it's been a joy. It's been a joy to highlight the success of these women that have gone unknown. And we're talking about Division 1, 2, and 3, NAIA, community college, junior colleges, all of that. We are, and I even had some high school athletic directors, because again, those who want to come, sports management is a very hot major, but you still need to be able to see who you can be. So that's what I try to provide.
Well done, my friend. Well done. Wow. So tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Well, I started the entrepreneur journey full time in 2013. And so learning how to turn myself from an educator who gives away information for free and how to monetize that has been a interesting and fulfilling journey, because I really can see the light bulb going off now. So I've been doing a lot of going to conferences, investing in coaches, and I do a lot of one-on-one training, and now I'm learning again how to do that. And I've been doing workshops for the last 3 years, going to college campuses, working with athletic departments, with their staff retreats, working with their student athletes who want to be leadership piece. So I've been doing that quite consistently, but just taking my knowledge and monetizing that to the marketplace.
How does that make you feel?
It provides a great level of freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom of choice to be able to control your time, and knowing that you're impacting folks who may not even have the opportunity to have, that don't even know about professional development or self-awareness and how it improves your leadership. And I've been doing that just naturally for years. Many people who know me say, when you do these podcasts, it just seems like we're just talking in your office.
That's amazing. The idea of you being just around 45 and switching to an entrepreneurial journey is something that a lot of others may think is not possible. Why would you suggest to them they even consider the idea of doing what you've done?
Well, I wouldn't say, I would say even if you do have a 9 to 5, you need to brand yourself as an entity of expertise, period. And I would say that is making yourself not necessarily pink slip proof, but it makes you change proof. So any kind of change in leadership, your name is still out there. You are known. I try to say you need to have a ... between your name and the institution, not just a comma, because you are still who you are, your expertise, whether you're associated with that university or not. And just like I know, that the loyalties that used to be 20, 30 some years ago are just not there. So again, as you say, I've been in the business for 27 years, but I'm not even retirement age. So most of my colleagues who've been the same years I have the time to actually retire. So you got to be able to make yourself recession proof, pink slip proof, by having your name out there before there is a need to be out there.
Well, amazing audience. We are live with Monique AJ Smith. She is the podcast host of a Chat in the Garden podcast. Hey, do check that out. Monique, let's switch gears for a moment now.
Okay.
Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
Okay.
Monique, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My father bouncing me on his knee, singing the song, boom, the boom, bop, boom, the boom, bop, boom, the boom, bop, boom, boom, boom.
How old do you think you were?
I would say probably 2 or less.
Why do you think that memory is so clear?
I think it's the creativity, because you can own your own creativity. And that's my God-given gift, is creativity. I mean, even if it's a problem, I have a way of creating a creative problem-solving solution. And so I think that just comes from both my parents of being creative people.
If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Always and Forever by Heatwave.
Yes, I'm jamming. All right, my friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. Monique, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Well, I believe all my listeners are. I got 845 plus people in my private Facebook group, and I average about 200 listeners a week. So, and mind you, I did go to a convention, women leaders in college sports, and I had girls coming to me like, "Oh, that's a chat in the garden. That's Monique," and I'm going like, oh. So I would say yes, I am. I'm not saying passing along the podcast mic, but passing along the messages of empowerment that you can do this job.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and do you have children?
No, I do not.
Do you believe in God?
Yes, no doubt.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yeah, I do. I have an inner circle that I can call on. My god sister who lives in Texas, and my best friend, Tracy, who lives in Petersburg, Virginia. We've been friends. The one in Texas, all her life, because I was born in November. She was born in July. And then the one in Virginia, we're 5 days apart, and we've known each other since we've been 5 years old.
Wow. Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, I do not. I'm trying to force myself to watch some movies to relax.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
So the computer, you don't count the phone?
Yeah, phone as well.
Oh, well, yeah, I would say, because again, when you're an entrepreneur, you're never really off.
Yeah. And so, Monique, I'll tell you, after having 1,001 conversations in 2016, in 3 months, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self, right? And as you dig deeper into the book, you uncover your own unique real statement. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Monique AJ Smith, what would you say that is?
I would say it's planting seeds of empowerment that lead others to greatness.
Love it. Monique, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I would like to say that I'm also an adjunct professor at Hampton University, where I teach sports management courses, and that too is a joy.
Wow, this woman is doing everything. Well, Monique AJ Smith, hey, it was a great pleasure. One more time, I'd say, hey, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Okay, thank you so very much for asking me.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com. And for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.